Christian Wood has finally made his free agency decision. He is going to be playing with the Los Angeles Lakers this upcoming season. This is going to be very interesting considering that he fills out a needed depth point for the Lakers in their quest with LeBron on his final year that's guaranteed to be played with the Lakers before obviously Bronny comes into the league. And it should just be interesting to see how things play out. But the real question is this the last opportunity for him to find himself a home? Welcome back to another video, guys. It's your boy Wraith Hoops. Make sure to leave a comment about you guys' thoughts, like the video, subscribe, and turn on post notifications if you like the Lakers or if you want some more NBA content as the season goes underway. With that being said, let's get right into it. Christian Wood is a 6'9" power forward center kind of hybrid player with a 7'3" wingspan, weighing in at roughly 214 pounds and being 27 years old. He's kind of reached his ceiling as a player, or more so what we expect of him, which isn't a bad thing per se because he's shown that he can be reliable, and while at times he does have streaky spurts of play, overall his season averages from the past few years indicate that he is a solid, at the very least rotational player if you don't want to start him. An insider on The Athletic had informed us that Rui Hachimura is expected to be starting alongside LeBron James as a forward, and Christian Wood will be coming off the bench as more of an Anthony Davis reliever and to run a Twin Towers kind of lineup when the Lakers want to sit there and go big in their lineup. Now, the expectation is that as long as everybody stays healthy, he'll be playing roughly 20 minutes a game, which could be good. And I think that more so come playoff time, he'll really have the opportunity to carve out a role based on how he performs in the regular season. But it's also very important to focus on what type of player Christian Wood really is, because a lot of people throw around that he's a decent stretch 4, stretch 5. He shoots the ball well, and that's as far as they go. Now, while I wouldn't say he's a great defender, he definitely has the tools and tangibles to be a decent enough rim protector, which is why he would be effective to have on the court, especially alongside AD and LeBron at the same time. But I do understand the scoring punch that Rui Hachimura provides, and that's why he should start. With that being said, let's go ahead and break down what his careers look like to date. He's been a journeyman who's been from team to team year in and year out. Obviously, he was first drafted by the 76ers, then he went to the Hornets, then to the Bucks, and then finally to the Pelicans, where he finally broke out and had the opportunity to play some actual minutes. Now, admittedly, it was only in 8 games, but he did put together 16 points and 8 rebounds in those games. And that was when people first started to realize that he might actually be more than just a tall guy that plays basketball. The next year, he was with the Pistons, and he played in 62 games where he averaged 13 points and 6 rebounds, shooting 56.7% from the field and 38.6% from the three-point line. And that's really where he started to come into his own as a three-point shooter and being understood that he could be the potential next level and generation of the stretch 4 kind of position. He then ended up having a 2-year stint with the Rockets, which is the most time he spent with a single team to date. And the years went as follows. He averaged 21 points, 9.5 rebounds, almost 2 assists a game in 41 games, while averaging shooting splits of 41.4% from the field and 37.4% from the three-point line in that first year. His second year was a little bit lower in the scoring category, but overall just as efficient, if not more so, because he did average 18 points, 10 boards, almost 2.5 assists across 68 games of a sample size, while shooting 50.1% from the field and 39% from three-point range. Now, those are really good numbers, and that's when people really started to understand the player that he was. Despite obviously the Rockets not being a particularly good basketball squad, he was one of those bright spots on the roster, similar to a Kyle Kuzma on the Wizards kind of situation, if that makes sense. Now, last season he played for the Mavericks, and in 67 games he averaged 16.6 points on 51.5% shooting from the field and 37.6% shooting from the three-point range to go along with 7.3 rebounds and 1.8 assists. Now, he was paired with Luka Doncic, and obviously at the end of the season, and came Kyrie Irving, but it was nice to see him play with a elevated guard and give us a glimpse of what he could still potentially do when he's not necessarily one of the bigger focal points of offense, while still having the opportunity to spot up and get his shot off at will. Now, after the free agency kind of died down and there wasn't really much action going on, the 2 players that were to watch were the Danny Greens and the Christian Woods of the world. Now, Danny Green did end up going to the 76ers, which left Christian Wood going to the Lakers. Now, the Lakers did end up grabbing him on a $5.7 million 2-year deal where the second year is a player option. So it's more comfortable for him particularly, but it's also the opportunity to really just see how good a player he is and how well he fits with the system without kind of burdening yourself with too much of a contract expectation for a long-term deal. This season in particular will determine whether or not that he can find the opportunity to have a contract extension with the Lakers and more so find a permanent home, because as I said, he's been a journeyman, and while he's only 27 years old and now he's going on to his 6th, and it's like sometimes as a player you just want a home. There are players like the Ish Smiths of the world where they made their career out of being journeymen. But I think for Christian Wood, he'd be most benefited with his particular play style if he was put into a system and given the opportunity to grow and flourish. And I think the Lakers can be the team that really provides that stability for him, so long as he at the very least produces similar splits on similar percentages to what he has in the past. And he might just end up taking that starting role, moving Rui back to the bench spot as more of a 6-man, because I do enjoy seeing Rui Hachimura come off the bench. He provided a great scoring punch, and he's not the greatest defender. I would personally say that I'd rather have Christian Wood on the floor, but I do understand the desire to have Rui start, considering he's already been in the system. He knows how to play alongside those guys, and he simply has the playoff experience that Christian Wood doesn't frankly have. But with that being said, tell me if you think that it's reasonable to assume that the Lakers could be his new home, or if you think that he's going to really use this year to prove that he can be a solid role player once again and hope that another team decides to take the chance on him. Make sure to like the video. As I said, comment your thoughts below. Subscribe, turn on your post notifications, join the Patreon if you're feeling comfortable. And as always, good morning, good evening, good night, no matter where you're on the globe watching. Thanks for tuning into this one, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.